Getting started with writing is always the hard part. Putting the first words down on the page. I think the biggest fear that every writer has is the blank page, because then panic starts to set in. You think to yourself, I'm no good, what I'm writing is going to be terrible, no one's going to want to read it, it's a waste of time. I'll tell you a funny story. I knew a writer once who would get very upset whenever he clicked the save button in Microsoft Word, because when he did, Microsoft Word would say, "Are you sure you want to save this?" And he would get really upset because he would think that Microsoft Word was basically telling him it wasn't worth saving. And obviously I never laughed at him directly, but in private I've always found that to be a rather amusing story, because it just goes to show you that writers have their insecurities just like everybody else. I would say that the best thing to do is to just start writing. It doesn't matter if what you're writing is a load of crap. Just get it out. I'll let you into a secret. Every first draft is terrible. Even big authors like Stephen King, for example, their first drafts are probably terrible. Their first drafts will never see the light of day. Because when you're doing the first draft, you're basically forming the story in your head and you're trying to get it out on the page as much as you can. And what you write in the first draft will bear absolutely no relation to what you'll eventually publish. I mean, my books go through 4, maybe 5, even 6 drafts before it's even remotely ready to go out. So when you're writing your first draft, just start writing. Don't worry about how it looks, how it sounds, what the story's like, whether the story's ludicrous. Just write. And I think the more you write, the more confident you will get. And the more confident you will get, the easier it becomes. Writing is just like a skill. It's a skill just like any other skill. You've got to practice. And the more you practice, the better you'll get. And once you've got that first draft out, it doesn't matter how bad it is, you can then go back to the start and begin working on it in earnest. The second draft, that's when you start to whip it into shape. The second draft is when you start to see your story come together, because you've already got the basic story out. So you've got the idea out of your head and onto the page. So now you can look at each paragraph in turn and say, right, this bit's coming out, this bit needs to be improved. Oh, I just remember something else that I could put in. And as each draft happens, the story gets better and better. So if you're having writer's block, if you're scared about starting your first book, take it from somebody who's been there. Don't let it scare you. Just start writing. Because I'll tell you, if you are able to write a first draft of a book, that is an achievement that not many people are able to do. Many people say, I want to write a book, but they never get around to it. They just say it. They don't do it. So if you're able to get that first draft out, then you've already done something that millions and millions of other people claim they want to do, but they don't. So you should look upon that as a big achievement. And as I said, once you've got that draft, then the only way is up. You just keep working at it and pruning it, editing it, rewriting it. Keep working at it until it's as good as it can be. And then all of a sudden you've got a book ready to go out. And all of a sudden you're a published author. It really is that. It's really not that difficult. I was going to say it's really that easy, but it's not easy. Obviously, writing a book is hard. I would never seek to minimize the book writing process. It is difficult, but it's not impossible. You can do it. If you've got the determination and the vision and the willpower, you can do it.